Salutations! Welcome to the Miracle Mile podcast. It's Mario speaking once again. Today joining us we have Miggs from Amador Reptile Rescue. Say hi, Miggs.
How you doing?
Awesome. We've been trying to schedule this out for a minute, and I'm glad to finally have this going on. So how are you today, by the way?
I'm great. How
Fantastic.
are you?
You look fantastic.
I'm trying. Starting all fresh.
All right, fantastic. So we're here to talk about a specific thing. Normally what we have on the podcast is we have a lot of different forms of entertainment. We have local businesses, creatives in general. But your subject is very unique. I remember this was, I want to say 6 months ago or something. Terry at one point called me at a ridiculous time. He was like, Mario, I have a crazy idea. I was like, what? He was like, snakes. I was like, what do you mean snakes? What do you mean? He was like, let's have an event with snakes. I got a snake guy. I was like, what are you smoking? Are you drunk? What are you talking about? And he came upon the idea of having an event that had to do with, education of reptiles and stuff like that. And I didn't get to meet you until very recently. So it's good to put a name to the face. So to explain to the public or anyone who's watching this in general, who are you and what is ARR, Amador Reptile Rescue?
Well, I'm Miggs. I am the owner of ARR, which is Amador Reptile and Rescue. Mm-hmm. What I do is I am a, educationer about reptiles and, future people about learning and teaching about the hobby. Okay. Right now is what it's starting as a hobby, which I'm planning on to turning into a full-blown business.
Yeah. So when I was first told about this, not first, but when I was first told to visit, which was like a week ago or so, I heard, it was fun. I heard it was something that you were creating from a hobby into a discipline or a business, and I remember to myself thinking, oh, okay, cool. So he's gonna have like 5 or 6 cool snakes or reptiles in general.
That wasn't,
and it was not the case. It was like, how many? You said 29?
Up to at least 22.
22?
No, 28 in ball pythons right now, and about 10 to 11 reptile lizards.
Yeah, I remember you. So you showed me the area, and there were several different bins, correct?
Racks systems, racks. That I have built myself, basically until I get professional ones. That's when the business is going, and I'm we're making funds.
And where did you pick that up from? How did you learn?
It all started in Florida when I started to get it into cutting grass. Oh. And I ended up, one of my neighbors had a snake in her yard, and I was the little kid who wasn't afraid to pull out snakes from people's yard.
That's very
cool. Basically what it turned into was, that's where basically Amador Reptile and Rescue was created, because as a 13, 14-year-old little kid running around, getting phone calls from all the people in the neighborhood.
I heard you touch snakes. I heard you touch snakes.
Can you send your son over? I got this snake coming out of my kitchen, and I'm scared to death. You know what I mean? So then, I put one and one together.
The rule fit.
I rescued and relocated.
Interesting.
You understand? And then I started making a little couple of dollars out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So for those who aren't well informed, because most people just recognize snakes as a creepy or dangerous animal, and we know that's not always the case.
Yes, and that's why I'm here to educate the people.
Yeah,
because it's like a pit bull.
A pit bull could be a good. Yeah. So the way I wanted to go about this is let's start with the fundamentals, because I obviously, with any kind of captivity or let's call it refuse, you have a certain level of caretaking, but I wanted to get behind the information you gave me or shared with us about breeding, because you were talking about like a combination of genes when we were back at your place.
Basically, it's the whole thing is just genetics.
Okay.
I love the ball pythons. Just love snakes, but my wife, she loves the lizards and stuff like that, so I dabble in it too.
Okay.
But in the ball python world, there's about maybe 200 and something genes. And,
wow.
Learning the combinations can make you a, beautiful animal.
Okay, cool.
You understand? An absolutely gorgeous animal. And if in this business right now, what we call the reptile lottery, that means a world's first. And that's what we do in our hobby, is to have the right to name that animal because I'm the only one and I'm
that
the
has
creator
that hybrid or
yes.
source.
Yes, and I'm the creator, and that's what we look for. Basically, is to still, they're like cars. You're changing the colors, you're making it prettier.
That's really cool.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But they're also real docile animals. You know what I mean? They're just misunderstood.
Yeah. I remember I once went to a party, this was like I think 4 years ago or so, and like while everyone was already like booted, like very drunk, some guy just whipped out like their giant snake. I forgot what kind of snake it was. It was
you got from Burmese to boas.
It was a boa. And they were I think they were defanged, and I remember it was like the tamest, largest reptile I've ever seen. It was like,
first we're gonna say not defanged, because boas have no fangs.
Oh, okay.
Only
go
venomous
figure. Thank you for educating me.
Venomous snakes have the fangs in the front.
Okay.
That's what they use to strike to put the venom in the animal.
Okay.
Boas are constrictors.
Oh, they grab you.
Anything with boa.
Okay. Well, it definitely was a boa because it got real comfy with me.
Yeah, because anything with python or those are all constrictors.
So those strike while the other
fangs
ones.
or stuff like that, you'll get them in venomous animals. But we do have our rare colubrids that are just like a hognose snake. It's a very popular little snake.
Okay.
But it's rear venomous. It doesn't have front fangs, is what it's telling you. It has to get like at least the prey halfway into his mouth to chew on it, to at least get it envenomated.
Man, that's so interesting. So let's start from here in a discussion, because when you come upon the topic of the educating of snakes and reptiles in general, there always has to be a fundamental for people who are interested in owning their own. So how do you go about like the basics of taking care of a snake from the side of someone who's just trying to have a snake as a pet?
Once you come into a business and my business, ARR, and purchase an animal from me, you will get an actual care sheet on how to take care of the animals.
Okay.
Plus, any of my staff members will take their time to sit there and explain to you the proper care of how, to take care of an animal.
I see.
And the reason why I put rescue, just in case, that person does not know how, or let's say we've fallen on hard times, you can always bring it back to ARR, and we'll take it in.
It's like a sanctuary more than like a pet shop.
Yeah, we're not here for the money. I'm not here to flip snakes.
Yeah, I see.
I won't even, sell it.
Yeah.
I'll adopt it out.
Oh, okay.
And find it a better home, somebody else who can take care of it.
Wow.
Or if not, it'll stay in my shop.
Nice.
Until I put them in a breeding project.
Okay, and so what are food options for
food
snakes?
Options? Basically, going with reptiles, you have various of options from dog food to to fruits to various of salads to veggies, all kinds of stuff like that.
Okay.
Yes, I do mention dog food because they have an Australian called blue-tongued skink, which is a very big lizard. So the reason why they know it eats dog food, because a lot of Australians have dogs in their backyards, and they caught these lizards
just
in the dog bowls.
Yeah. Okay, and that's like nutritional for them, I'm assuming?
Basically, yeah, that's their protein, you know what I mean? Besides that, they also eat veggies, vegetation, eggs and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question for you, because I feel there's always going to be a skeptic for snakes. There's a skeptic for spiders. So in your line of work and in your passion and discipline, what is the worst injury that you have I guess endured during your process of caretaking of snakes?
My worst injury is just I go through it every season.
Okay.
Every season, it's the breeding season. It's when I have to take away the eggs away from the mother snakes. It's just basically like you going in there and messing with a pit bull's puppies.
Oh, wow.
You understand?
I don't envy that job.
But the bite is, it looks a lot bad, but it's
not
really
as
not
intense.
that. Yeah, it's really not that intense. It just looks bad, but I get bit all the time. It don't mind me. My little daughter, she'll take a bite. You know what I mean? We have other YouTubers who actually made videos of their children taking bites. You know what I mean? It's not as bad as people make it think.
Go figure.
Yeah, I mean that's what
it's
is.
Probably
that's
more the
what
fear.
The fear is coming from is because it looks so horrid.
Yeah.
But it's actually not.
Oh, go figure. Okay.
Little mouthwash, it comes right off.
Okay, cool. Now another interest that I had. What is molting like That's a process because I was able to see some of the shedding.
Shedding is a must because you can actually hurt the animal.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
How does that?
Yeah, they get scale rot. They get if they don't get to get a proper shed, they get skin infections and stuff like that. The layers of skin that didn't come off builds up and stays there, and then it'll create a scab, and then you're gonna have to take it to a vet, and that's very costly.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
So it's like
this is why in this business right now everybody has that controversy about glass tanks and rack system.
Okay.
I have no problems with owners keeping their pets.
What's the pros and cons?
The pros and cons is I think the rack system with the tubs hold the humidity a lot better.
Oh, okay.
So that way you need the higher humidity for ball pythons, so that way they can shed very well.
Okay.
And as you see in the curtain of sheds, my rack works.
Yeah, that's valid.
But when I had them in glass tanks, it looked like they Incredible Hulked it. Instead of getting a nice sheet of a shed, it was all blotted out in pieces and stuff like that. And that's not a good shed because then you got to soak them and rub all the shed off of them, trying to get it off. Trust me, my wife spent thousands of hours doing that with the
sounds
babies.
like it. Yeesh. We spoke about this briefly. I believe Louisiana spoke about it. What do you do with the leftover skins in the sheds?
We like I said at ARR, nothing goes to waste.
Okay.
Even unfertile ball python eggs, we have a monitor lizard that it gets fed to.
Oh, go figure.
Nothing gets to waste. So what we do with the extra skins, anybody who's never had one, they can purchase one off of us, or my wife actually, she makes jewelry.
Jewelry, that's what I heard.
She makes jewelry. She's actually a nail technician. She can actually do nail skin, fingernails, earrings, chains, little medallions and stuff like that. Maybe a little locket.
You had me a nail technician.
There you go.
That's cool.
Hey man, you'll look real nice in some chocolate ball python skin right there, buddy.
That'd be hard. I pull up to the function with the chocolate ball python skin. Yo. You kind of sold it there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to talk about that off air.
The new fade, bro.
That's crazy. Okay. So let's talk about community bases, because this is something that is a topic at the Miracle Mile podcast. The main focus is the idea that there's something going on in the community, and we want to make sure that it is recorded, and let's say there's some kind of digital footprint for it.
Right.
So that being said, as you being a part of ARR and the lead of this, what are your aspirations for this, and what it would mean for the community, in a community where it just doesn't?
Well, basically in this community right now, they can't find what I have.
That's what I'm saying.
Understand? It's not local for this community right now, and I want to bring that. Me being the only Latino in this community that does this.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Because you'll have different people and different kinds of races doing this thing, but I want to be the first one out here in Jersey to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can tell.
To find anything, you have to drive miles.
Yeah, I'm aware because I have a friend who owns a puffer fish, and he gets like specific.
Has to go out of his way just to get it, and that's what I want to felicitize. Like, even if I'm not selling my reptiles in the store, I want people to come by and pick up their feeder bugs for their bearded dragons, because people do have them. You understand? And they need to eat. So.
Yeah,
I produce my own farms, my own dubia roach farms, I breed my own rats. So if your snake is hungry, you come down to ARR. We got you.
Interesting. Okay, all right. So what are some long-term and also short-term goals for ARR? Being as how you are now being established, what are you trying to do? What is
my short-term goal right now is to establish my place right now.
Okay.
That's, because I want to take it one step at a time to make sure everything goes well. Because I want to succeed.
Of course. That's
okay.
The general.
And then after long term is basically having my place succeed and turn it over to my kids. And see them
expand on
the
it.
business. Yes, because my son and my daughter, they love it.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, she even has her own little pair of snakes.
Wow.
And she's raising them up, and she wants to learn how to breed by herself.
Wow.
So maybe, next year or two, you'll be buying one for her.
Yo, probably. Honestly, these are some really convincing sales.
Yeah, I just want to hit my the pinnacle of, having my own name, ball python, for myself.
Valid. Okay, so here's a topic that I want to talk about, because this isn't even in general for the community. This is just something I don't know anything about. What is conception like? What's the length of that? What? Breeding in general.
Breeding process the breeding process is not really that hard. It's just the ball pythons breed once a year. Okay. Different lizards, some of them breed once or twice a year, or can keep breeding yearly round. But ball pythons is where I do a lot of my breeding, and it's just yearly. So you know what I mean. From October, November to December is breeding season, and then right around this time is when I'm cutting eggs open.
I see.
So but it's once a year, so I don't expect to make money year round from it. I just bank out. I get all my eggs done in 1 year, and then hatch everything out, and that's when I take everything.
On average, how many per season do you get?
Right now, I'm pulling in because I'm just recently moved here, and we're just getting started. So we only got maybe 2 or 4 clutches for the year right now. But once I get finished settling up, I'm at least gonna pull to 10 to 15. Wow. And then the number's just going to keep going, because once I get the extra space for the extra racks,
there's nothing stopping you at that point. Yeah.
Wow. And then once I make more babies, I keep them and I raise them out and put them back into the breeding project. You understand? So
what a fervent passion. Yeah. That sounds very
It just keeps going back and back. More colors, more rainbows.
Cool. So the idea that I've gotten out of things, just because as you know, Terry's been the middleman between our interactions. Terry wanted to try and create an entertainment and educational value out of your whole establishment. And I have a rendition of what that means, but I want to make sure that either you can correct that rendition, or if we're on the same page on that rendition.
Oh, well, for anybody that's watching right now, I'm just letting you guys know, we are setting up an educational event that we want to do. I'm not going to shoot out any dates yet, specific dates, because we're getting ready, and we as if anybody knows me, I will not take animals out in the cold.
Valid.
Because they're cold, so I gotta wait for right temperatures to be outside to be bringing animals out.
Okay.
So, but yes.
So
stay tuned, because ARR will be having a close event, so that way I want my local people to come out, meet and greet, and get away from the fear, you know what I mean? And come learn, with us.
Cool. So that's how I was seeing it. I was seeing it as maybe you would have the snakes handled, and you would be introducing each of them by the species and whatnot.
I will explain everything, answer any questions anybody has. I'm very patient with it, especially when I'm here talking about my passion. I can go on and talk a book or talk you to sleep about it.
Okay.
But yes, I do want to be out here educating people, at least get somebody who doesn't say they will never touch it and actually held one. I accomplished something.
That's
you know
cool.
what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool. I see what you mean. What are some things that you, as a caretaker and part of AR, have learned about taking care of snakes that the average consumer doesn't know? What are some things that you only know when you're that deep into the thing?
The ball pythons are going to be very picky eaters.
Picky eaters.
Yes, because I've had stuff that I had worried about for at least a year. I've had snakes go off of food, and people are like, "Oh my God, my snake's gonna die. He's not eating. What am I gonna do?" It's gonna be fine. These animals can last for a year without eating.
Really?
Yes, for a year.
Year?
I did not know that until I found out for myself. And yes, she did not lose any mass. She stood.
It wasn't unhealthy. She just lasted the whole year.
She looked pretty good. Yes, as long as she got fresh water. Remember, these animals are not like a dog that you have to sit there and pet every day and feed every day. No, ball pythons eat once a week. You know what I mean? You can actually go on vacation for a week. They're not even gonna miss you. You understand? They're not gonna even miss you. Just make sure you put some fresh water out for them for a couple of days, and just come back. Clean up whatever poop or whatever you got to clean up their cage for that couple of days. But these are animals that are very easy. They don't take up too much of your time.
I see. Another thing that I wanted to touch base on, because when I went and visited your area and I saw all the different snakes and reptiles, I could tell that each of them had like their own like kind of personality, or like, let's say, safety level.
Yes, that's where you're gonna have to learn about them, because people think that they're all mean.
Yeah.
No, I have things in my collection that will want to take your arm off, to things that they'll let you wear them as a belt.
What was the name of the really like the one that was like mad chill, the one that was just on me? I forgot.
What, Beefy?
Yeah,
Mr. Beefy. Mr. Beefy. Everybody loves Mr. Beefy. Mr. Beefy is my hypo bearded dragon, which we have him from a whiplet from really small. You know what I mean? I raised him out, but he is everybody's favorite.
He reminded me of like when I was like 11 or 12 and I had my little iguana. I was like, oh wait, you are approachable. Wow. It was really cool.
Everybody loves that, and that's my ambassador for my educational shows. So that way, I can handle him, actually pass him around to the children, so he can be chill, and little kids get to learn and want one. Mom, can I get a bearded dragon?
That'd be a good stigma to break.
Learn about it. Yes, and people, even older,
people who are more like
skeptical about it, and they get to hold Beefy, and then they want to go out and buy one.
Yeah, that's interesting. The way I saw,
you wanted to take Beefy.
Yo, Beefy was so cool. Yeah. What I was gonna say is, there's this very interesting part about what you do, and I was able to witness it even in a small scale, because it wasn't like I was a consumer or anything. It was just wanted to see what it was about, and I liked the fact that it was something different. Yeah, of course, that's always.
You didn't see me pull out nothing the same out of any tub.
Yeah. That was one, but two, it's also the genuine care for what you do. The one thing that I've always been able to differentiate between a pet shop and like someone who like actually cares about animals is that one treats it like real estate and property, and the other one treats it like it's like a part of their family. And I really read that off of the environment and how you took care of it.
Some of my animals have came from bad places. The one that went off of food for that year, she came from a horrible pet shop that was a little mom and pop pet shop, but I had her surrender to me because I had to explain to the people that I was gonna have their license pulled if they don't surrender this to me, because it's
inhumane.
Animal abuse.
Yes, animal abuse.
You know what I mean? If you don't know and you're scared to death, how is this snake eating? How is this shedding? You know what I mean? How you guys, when I got this animal, it was literally slobbering drool out of his mouth from the infections that it had. Because they had it over bird tanks, and the feathers was falling into his tank, plus having a cat sit on it. And that all, they breathe, they're like little kids. They get sick too, you understand?
How do you take care of an animal?
This is why I don't do like the, I don't promote Petco. I mean, they got good products and stuff like that, PetSmart, but I don't, suggest people to buy animals from there, because you get a lot of sick animals from Petco.
I have seen that.
They're not like, owners like me who actually love their animals.
They're beta fish, and they're some of the small reptiles.
I've had 2 of them that successfully, right now, they're growing, and when I got them, they were really skinny. And basically, the 2 that I bought were 10 times of its litter mate that was still in Petco that I couldn't afford to grab that 3rd one.
Go figure.
Yeah. He was about, like this big, and that little one was still this big, because I was actually taking care of mine, feeding it the right diets.
I see.
You understand? And when I went back and I saw the 3rd one and I couldn't purchase it, I was really sad.
Would you say that that this negative caretaking is what creates the defensiveness in the creatures in the first place?
Yes.
I see.
Yes, I mean proper care, because remember, a lot of people think, oh, he's scaly. Yes, they get scale rot. They have to shed. They need proper humidity. They need proper care, because if you don't know how to care for these animals, they will get sick on you. They will die, and the vet cost is very expensive.
And most people don't have enough empathy to keep going all the way.
That's another thing that we're offering at ARR.
Oh yeah.
If you do not know what you're doing, bring them all down, and we'll take care. If it's you're having an issue with shed, you bring them all down, you leave them overnight, we'll take care of them. You know what I mean? We'll charge you our fee.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know how to, if your snake's not eating, bring them on down. You know what I mean? We do assist feedings.
Wow.
You understand?
Assist
if your snake,
feedings.
yeah.
How does that go?
Assist feedings basically is just, you know, you have to have the cojones, bro. Like, you have to grab the snake by the back of the neck, open its mouth, and take a rat that's like frozen thawed already.
He's about it.
You know, humanely, you know, put down a little rat that's already, you know, deceased. Just take the front nose of it, put it right in his mouth. The snake's not gonna want to do it, but you push it down. You push it down as far of his down halfway to his gullet, and he has no option because they got, you know, curved teeth, so they can't pull it out. So you can't drop them. So they just got no other option but to go down. So the snake will eat.
Wow.
Yeah. So if not, they'll just sit there and die.
So discussing the sensitivity to let's call it alarm or annoyance in a reptile, namely a snake's. I was discussing with Louisiana the idea of if we were going to do something, let's say public, where there be kids or people my age, whatever the case may be. The idea of having like a red light, yellow light, and green light system, meaning like, you know, like the kind of reptile that would just be for
trust me, I will have those marked on my bins. Trust me,
because I feel like that's the only thing that I would ask for.
I have green tags, red tags. Trust me, and nobody's getting near anything unless I'm around.
Okay, cool.
Just because I want to make sure nobody's injured. You know, if I'm okay with them holding this animal, then, you know, I will green light it. But if I tell you it's a red flag, then I'm going to be the one taking the bite for it. You know what I mean? Valid. Just to show you guys how not that bad it is, plus to show you the different attitudes in different kind of animals.
Fantastic.
Because I have stuff that, you know, are puppy dog trained to things that just want to rip my arm off. But it's not its fault. It's the animal. It's doing what he does. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. So Miggs, we're gonna go into promo at this point.
Yeah.
This is the point of the podcast where we talk about anything that you want to say or anyone you want to shout out, whether it be a family member or someone you're working with or something you're working on. And then thereafter, I'm going to go and give my promo, and then we're just going to call it a day if you don't mind.
No worries.
You got anything to say?
No, I just want to, you know, make sure everybody comes down or stays tuned for the event that's going to be coming up soon, because we will be putting it out. Yeah, we'll be promoting it, let you guys know what dates, price, whatever we got to do.
Okay.
What do we be bringing it out, you know? I cannot stand by and not thank my partner Louisiana, you know, because that's my rock. That's the one that holds the business down. Awesome. I may do everything that's physical, but, you know, she does everything else.
Okay, cool.
Kids and New Jersey exotic pets, because they the ones that provide me half of my collection.
Oh, yeah,
so that way I can get things rolling. You know what I mean?
Okay,
because
cool.
I love the way they do their business, and it's something that I admire from them.
Fantastic.
And it's something that I want to do.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So now we're going to go and I'm going to give the promo for Reach's side of things. So in regards to Reach Media Marketing or the Miracle Mile in general, we have an art gallery going on this weekend. This will probably be out by the time that that happens. So regardless, I'm saying it. The week thereafter, we're working on a DJ set at Crave 43. After that, there's going to be a few different events, but we got to really work on the detailing behind that. My own little promo, there's going to be a bonfire within the month, but we'll talk about that later. Anyways, Miggs, thanks for having us.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on
this.
But
next time, I will be making sure I'll bring somebody to come visit.
Okay, yeah, awesome. Alrighty. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good one.
Have a good one.